There's been plenty of talk around Bruno Fernandes following those comments from Keane last week. Let's start with some positives in the attacking numbers.
Highly debated, Bruno Fernandes, isn't he? Is he good for Manchester United? Is he part of the problem? Well, let's look at the positives. Yes, he's in the top 10 for a lot of the chance creation metrics, and actually you do have to ask the question, where would United be without Bruno Fernandes?
We'll get back to the analysis in just a quick second, but remember, if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. And don't forget to click the notification button so that you know when the next Big D video hits. And as ever, the Big D wants to know what's on your mind. So if you've got something to say, please put it in the comments. The Big D reads all of the comments. Now, in this little clip, it's from Sky Sports, and they are talking about Manchester United, obviously. This is a Man United fan channel, of course. But they are breaking down the sort of the work rate and the importance and what Rasmus Højlund and Bruno Fernandes does for the team. And it's really interesting to see this breakdown. And the Big D the Big D will tell you after the clip. Stick around after the clip because the Big D is going to be giving his comments on the clip at hand. But here it is.
Now, it's Manchester United against Arsenal live on Sky Sports for this upcoming Super Sunday. And there's been plenty of fallout from United's FA Cup defeat to Fulham on Sunday, yesterday. On Sky Sports' website, there was a poll around Ruben Amorim. Sam, just give us a summary of those results.
Yeah, so we decided to ask the question as to whether Manchester United fans are happy with Ruben Amorim, even in this short space of time. And actually, the results was quite resounding. 76% still support Ruben Amorim as Manchester United manager. Now, out of this 76%, it was split down the middle between whether they support Amorim and his style, and whether he have to continue this 3-4-2-1 formation, or whether changes need to be made at Manchester United. And of course, there are 24% of fans who don't support Ruben Amorim anymore. But I think it would be pretty harsh to sack Amorim, given the amount of turmoil on and off the pitch there has been at Manchester United. But it still seems that the Portuguese manager has the backing of the majority of the fan base. And yeah, feel free to go on the Sky Sports website and app to see not only the poll, but also the comments from certain Manchester United fans.
OK, let's look at some of the issues Amorim is facing then. What about Rasmus Højlund? His struggles in front of goal continue, really, don't they?
Yeah, that FA Cup defeat to Fulham means it's now 18 games without a goal for Rasmus Højlund. And actually, he's only had 15 shots in that, and that's a pretty poor record as well. And actually, games without a shot, 8, which is pretty poor. He should have had a little bit more. He's missed 4 big chances, but again, only 6 shots on target from 18 games. It's not a good record. Now, the huge debate around Rasmus Højlund is it his fault or is it perhaps the service? And if we look at his rankings this season, it does tell us a story that maybe actually it's a little bit of both. So what we've done is we've compared Rasmus Højlund to the 81 Premier League strikers this season in terms of the numbers and the underlying metrics. And actually, he makes the second highest off-the-ball runs per 90. So he's looking for the ball more than most Premier League strikers. But only a quarter of them are in the box, and that's the 10th lowest out of all the Premier League forwards. Now, Manchester United players and his teammates still try to find him because he's in the top 10 for, runs that are targeted by a pass, but they don't necessarily find him. He's got the lowest out of all 81 Premier League strikers for touches in the opposition box this season. And then when he does get the ball, his dual success rate and his aerial success rate is among the bottom 2 or 3 strikers. So for Rasmus Højlund, I think it's very much the case of, yes, he does try, and no one can, go against his work ethic. And he is only 21, so he has got room to learn. But maybe there are some things that he could do better, and maybe those Manchester United teammates could find him in better positions.
Interesting. Right, given those numbers, some United fans may be hoping to see 17-year-old striker Chido Obi from the start Thursday night, but just explain why that won't be the case.
Yeah, so United play Real Sociedad in the Europa League last 16, and yeah, after the cameo performance against Fulham, a lot of people we'll be hoping that teenage striker Chido Obi Martin would be starting over Rasmus Højlund, but unfortunately he can't due to European registration rules. Now, how those rules work is that there is a List A and there is a List B. List A consists of the first team players that Manchester United have, and the deadline for that ended a couple of days after the January transfer window closed. Obi Martin has since come into the United first team since then, so he missed the deadline to be registered in that list. There is a List B which is saved for academy players, but in order to qualify for that list, you have to be an academy player for a certain amount of time, around 3 seasons at that club. Chido Obi Martin joined from Arsenal in January, so unfortunately he didn't qualify for that list. So Obi Martin won't be able to play in Europe for Manchester United this season. And actually, looking at their season, who knows when he will be making his European debut for the club.
Unless they go and win the Europa League.
Unless they win the Europa League.
Yeah, OK. There's been plenty of talk around Bruno Fernandes following those comments from Roy Keane last week. Let's start with some positives and the attacking numbers.
Highly debated, Bruno Fernandes, isn't he? Is he good for Manchester United? Is he part of the problem? Well, let's look at the positives. Yes, he's in the top 10 for a lot of the chance creation metrics, and actually you do have to ask the question, where would United be without Bruno Fernandes? 8th for assists, in the top 5 Premier League players for chances created, big chance created, expected assists in the top 10, and he actually scores from outside the box, so he brings that unpredictability to Manchester United. And it's particularly impressive given Manchester United's seasons. Players are sitting around 14th, 15th in the Premier League table don't necessarily finish in the top 10 of these metrics, so it's still really impressive from Bruno Fernandes from an attacking point of view and with the ball.
Yeah, but I think what Roy Keane was getting at was the other side of the game, the defensive side. Where does he rank there?
Yeah, well, it was also Stephen Warnock on the show yesterday. We're saying on the ball he's really good, but off the ball he's not so good. And actually, you can see there's a bit of endeavour from Bruno Fernandes. He does press. He does like to press. He's in the top 5 players for going after the ball. He's in the top 20 for pressing in the final third. And actually, no player has more pressures in the middle of the pitch than Bruno Fernandes. So he does try to get the ball back and he does put in the distance. But out of those pressures, only 11% are successful. And that ranks 367th out of 480 Premier League players. So it's all well and good pressing and going after the ball, but is the press effective? And ultimately, we've seen a few instances this season when Bruno Fernandes has gone after the ball and then hasn't got it, put his arms up. I think there was the second goal for Everton a few weeks ago was an example where Everton got an attack from one of those failed Bruno Fernandes presses. So I can understand the arguments for and against. He is important with the ball, but actually could Bruno Fernandes be better supported in midfield with the pressing and maybe have someone backing him up to press and having a better team press if United to be more successful?
Well, we'll start with Bruno Fernandes. Well, as you can see there, with the ball, he's in the top 10 of attacking midfielders in the league. And the fact that he's in the top 10 attacking midfielders in the league in such a bad United side just shows you how good he is. And I've said this so many times. You put Bruno Fernandes in that Man City team or in that Liverpool team, and he scores 25 goals, gets 30 assists a season or whatever. He is world class. He's fighting for Ballon d'Ors if you put him in a world class team. It's as simple as that. And I've got a lot of heat from people who say otherwise, but you're wrong. You're wrong. The stats there prove it. Bruno Fernandes is absolutely world class. Now, you know, talking about off the ball, it's almost a bit of a moot point, really. I mean, yeah, he does pressure. The stats suggest that he does put the effort in. He's just not very good at pressing. But why would he be? He's an attacking midfielder. Did Roberto Baggio press? No. Did Alessandro Del Piero press? No. Did Ronaldinho press? No. Did all of those great attacking midfielders over the past however many years, did they all press? No. So why are they asking Bruno Fernandes to, be a frontline defender? And he's still putting the effort in, even though he's crap at it. You know? So, all this negativity towards Bruno Fernandes, it's absolutely ridiculous. And, they talk about he's you know, the way he gets frustrated and his arms go up and all of this. He's Portuguese. He's Portuguese. You know, they're quite expressive with their arms. The Big D is expressive like this as well. But in particular, like people from Portugal, people from Italy, you know, they've got a lot of arm gestures. They're very physically expressive and all that good stuff. So he is who he is. He's not an English player. He's not a Scottish player. He's not German. He's not stoic. Is he classed as Latino? I'm not entirely sure. But the point is, he comes from a part of the world where people are quite emotional and emotionally expressive and all that good stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the way he is. But anyway, it's just, see, the thing is, it's the dreaded Man United microscope all over again. It happens time and time again. Bruno Fernandes is carrying Manchester United, but they are looking for something to pick at, just for the sake of picking at it, because, you know, people know that it'll get views. And that's one of the reasons why the Big D's making this bloody video, because he knows, potentially, I don't want to jinx this, touch wood, touch a big bit of wood, the Big D knows that, you know, Bruno Fernandes is a hot talking point, and he's probably going to get some views. But the Big D is posting things that is in support of Bruno Fernandes, because the Big D appreciates the effort and the skill and the ability of such a fine player. And I'm just happy we've got him. I really am. Rasmus Højlund, what I got from that is what I kind of already knew anyway. I mean, you don't really need too much of a breakdown to, you know, get to the root of Rasmus's problem. Threefold. One, he's still quite young, so he still is learning his trade. Two, he's putting the effort in. And whenever I've been to Old Trafford, and I'll be going next week as well, and whenever I've seen Rasmus Højlund play, never have I thought he's not putting the effort in. So he is clearly putting the effort in. Now, he's obviously suffering from a lack of, a lack of goal-scoring opportunities and a lack of assists from his teammates. But when he does get the ball, he doesn't do much with it. But how can you sort of get better at a particular skill on the ball when you don't get the ball hardly ever? You need service to be able to sort of get his head round, getting hold of the ball and taking a shot. You just can't expect him to be Robert Lewandowski straight away. It's going to take a while, and even he took a couple of years to get going. I get the impression with Rasmus Højlund, he's come into a no-win situation because he's a guy that still needed a couple of years at maybe, you know, a smaller club outside of the spotlight, so he can learn his craft and really get to grips with being a centre forward before he makes the step up to the big leagues. And it's no coincidence that Erik ten Hag wanted Harry Kane as well as Rasmus Højlund, and I think that would really benefit Rasmus if he had a seasoned striker that was a first choice that he could learn from, and he could come on intermittently and learn his craft a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, from that, the Big D personally thinks that it's not saying anything new from that clip. It's not saying anything the Big D didn't really already observe himself by watching Manchester United. But I am glad that Sky Sports did a breakdown, because it shed some light on the importance of Bruno Fernandes in particular, and how Rasmus Højlund he's trying and he's putting the effort in. So anyway, what do you guys think? You've come this far watching this video, and I appreciate you. So please, thoughts in the comments, and the Big D will see you in the next one.